Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the coverage of the European Ultimate Masters Club Championship. We have a game started early, an interesting matchup. Of course, heartbreaking for the Czech fans who were expecting the silent Grandmasters team. But lucky for the German and Polish fans, as we have Uprising from Poland and Hardfisch from Germany, both already featured on the stream, but battling up an important game. And Uprising starts with a... No, it's Hardfisch in white. They start us off with a score going up 1-0. My name is Rachel Toshnerova, and I'm joined once again by none other than Benji Rees in the commentator booth. Benji, why are we streaming this game?
That's a very good question. With all due respect to DJ Dahlem Grandmasters Open, I think they were expecting to maybe suffer quite a heavy defeat in that game. So I don't think they're too unhappy about being streamed. Hello everyone, good to have you with us. And if we look actually at the way things are panning out in the Masters Open division, it's a big round robin, 7 teams, so you play each team once, that's 6 games. And that means that the top 2 go straight through to the final. And the way it's shaking out, it's highly likely that whoever wins this game will take a spot in the final.
Thank you very much for the explanation. As we move on with the game, and Uprising starts on offense. As I said, we have seen these teams on the stream before, so we will do our best to bring you some fun facts, as it seems like a lot of the players in this game filled out the player survey. Uprising, in the meantime, move through the zone defense of Hardfisch.
Uprising, actually everyone filled in a player survey, so and the team survey as well, so they are my favourites.
Milanovic gets the breakthrough. Brosser finds his teammate right on the end zone line for the score, and it is Vrubel.
Just leaned on that one, didn't do too much with it, just saw the option and just kind of dropped the body weight and just not even jammed it in there, because it was a nice kind of soft touch, really caressed that into the end zone for the goal. You spoke about silence. I can see that the Silence Open Masters team, who are not playing this round with 7 teams in a pool, there's always going to be someone who's got a game off, and at the moment that's Silence, and so they're taking the opportunity here to maybe do a bit of extra scouting on who they might be facing in the final. They'll have played these teams in the pool stage anyway, but maybe you can see something in this game that you wouldn't have seen when you played them yourselves.
And I apologize, the last score was Grywalski. Stanisław. And as Benji will dig out some dirt on him, we will prepare for the next pull.
Apparently he's like a speed eater, like he's youngest of 3, so he can eat a whole pizza faster than we can sing I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, which actually, I think about it, isn't that fast. That song's a good 4 or 5 minutes long.
That's true, that's true. We can definitely try to schedule that for this evening.
I mean, actually that sounds like a pretty good idea. I'm feeling a little bit hungry.
And we're going to stretch our vocal cords, and he can load up on his carbs.
Yeah, might need to do some carb loading if they make the final.
That is right. Again, some good movement from Uprising through the Hardfisch defense. Swinging it from side to side. Now we have some...
This is very calm and very chill, isn't it, from Hardfisch?
It is, it is. I was going to comment on it, but there's really not much to say. Spectre dumps it back to Dreyer. And they work together with Meistering.
I'll be honest, this feels just like a leisurely chuck around in the park, and Hardfisch are perfectly fine with that. Just take what they give you.
It seems like it. Meistering now looking for potential opportunities behind the cup. They do get it through. Neuhäuser back to Meistering. Dreyer through the middle to Spectre. And just like that, eventually they get it to the end zone.
Cool as you like. not flustered at all, despite the hot weather and the hot home defense. Just not flustered at all.
That is right. We have seen Hardfisch work hard from the start of this tournament, so it just seems like they have kept their confidence. I think they've reached their goal of beating both of the German teams that are in their category pretty early on the first day. So now I think they're just going with the flow and see how far it can take them.
Yeah, they will have to face Silence tomorrow morning in their last pool game, and again, if they win this, well, they could well be facing Silence again tomorrow.
That's true. That is the funny twist of a round robin at a tournament. You might end up playing the team you played last in the round, the first round of the games, and play them again in the placement game.
And if that's the case, how much do you show in that last pool play game if you've got the final berth sealed up? Because you might think, well, there's no point pulling everything out of the lacquer.
Mind games, Benji it is. Uprising with the disc. Both teams employing the zone despite the wind being pretty calm.
Yeah, you mentioned that we'd seen both these teams on stream already. Hardfisch with a very solid win over Wolpertinger, and for Uprising, a bit of an aberration of a game, losing heavily to the Czechs Silence version 3.3.
Kolodziejczyk on the sideline eventually gets it off to Vrubel. Back to Prosser. Kolodziejczyk navigating traffic. Finds Milanovic. Wow, what a save right at the doorstep of the end zone by Prosser. He's looking for an open pass. Eventually gets it. They will want the break. Milanovic. Wow, and a sleek break for the score by Milanovic. He was injured in the streamed game. Somebody stepping on his, luckily, left hand and forearm. He was showing us the bloody marks.
He had a big old cleat mark in his arm, but he seems good to go today. Really, again, cracking things open with a couple of delicious inside little forehands. Wife Ola watching at home with his daughter Paula, and we mentioned, of course, his brother Tomek, his brother's fiancée Sylvia, and his parents Jacek and Beata as well. Used to play basketball and volleyball, so you see those athletic credentials. But rather than getting high, here he's been an expert in getting low, just leaning and shifting the body weight a little bit lower to the ground.
And Kolodziejczyk, usually the offensive handler, here with the score. Pretty impressive throughout the roster, this Uprising team. We do have two Polish teams in the Mixed Masters bracket. Benji will eventually have a look to let you know how many have made it through. I actually already know that Quattro Dampiaggi unfortunately lost their game against Reading Ultimate, so they are out.
Yeah, still waiting for the score to be reported between Heidi's and RJP on the other side of the bracket.
In the meantime, Hardfisch will go the other way with a bit of sagging defense, not necessarily a zone maybe. Again, that lefty handler comes super handy, and a lot of these little sideline advice of watch your tone, you're on the stream, as the high disc goes up and will be brought down by Philipp Neuhäuser. Great grab, great high grab.
Yeah, the previous points for Hardfisch, it's kind of been calm, collected, almost surgical in approach, whereas this one felt a little bit more slapdash, perhaps. Put it up there and give the receiver a chance to make the play, and that's what Neuhäuser did.
See the wind up here. Eventually, a short upline pass, and here's the lefty forehand that comes in handy on this side of the pitch with this slight breeze.
Yeah, just read that well. A relative young'un is Neuhäuser, only 32. He'll be turning 33 this year, which does make him Masters eligible, and
younger than me.
And whoever would have guessed?
No one.
You still look so
fresh.
Yes, we'll go with that.
we will see.
Nick, 3-2 the other way.
We will see if I can keep my freshness throughout the rest of the tournament. Another pull goes up. This one, it will get brought in right at the end zone line. Kolodejczyk with an around pass to Grzywalski. A lefty fake. Kolodejczyk gets the reset.
Doesn't look like Uprising are really having it easy. The offense feels like they're having to grind to get free all the time. There's no real fluidity to it at the moment.
Kołek with a huge shot fired. Both players underneath it, but Grzywalski reads it better, and it's off straight to the end zone with an easy backhand for Milanovic.
Yeah, with that distinctive shaved side and kind of man-bun haircut, easy man to spot is Pavel Milanovic.
Really good pressure from Hardfisch there. You could see lots of communication between the sideline and the players on the pitch themselves, making sure that they pick the right side to force and they cover everyone who is a potential danger. So after being stuck a tiny bit, Uprising finally swing the disc to the sideline, and then a well-placed deep shot just opens up the entire play for an easy score. Bam!
I tell you what, if they had any kind of hangover from maybe a bit of underperformance on the stream in their previous game, not showing that so far, are they, Rach?
True. 100%. So we're tied at 3.
Fast-paced game as well. Less than 2 minutes a point.
And this is a really big pull that will go all the way deep into the Hardfisch end zone. Swing it straight away. Uprising sticking with the zone D. And Hardfisch will go back and forth. Dreyer. Again, the lefty Meistering.
He had a good long look at that deep cut before deciding to holster it.
Höflin on the sideline. Back to Meistering. Great swing to Dreyer. Meistering throws a contested throw, but it will be recovered.
I think there was an undercut there from Höflin that he could have thrown to, but he didn't want to, and instead squeezed it into Ferkman on that far side.
Great effort from the Poles there. Lots of pressure on almost every catch. Dreyer opens up the space in the break side.
Yeah, both players went to cover that up line pass, and it opened the space for the break to go to Spector instead.
Now a gainer to Fugman. Ooh, a difficult grab for Dreyer.
Players from both teams on the sideline calling him in.
Wow.
Oh, the cheek of that one to Maloney, just like a little casual flop of a push pass, but he gets the job done for 4-3. I love that. That's a little bit of character, I think.
Maloney, one of the playing coaches of this Hardfisch team. We've said it before, they're missing one of their coaches and one of their players due to COVID. Otherwise, the rest of the players are a combination of Team 1 and Team 2 of Hardfisch from Hamburg. Of course, the eligibility criteria being the master's age.
Yeah, Maloney started playing as an Erasmus student in Prague during Worlds in 2010.
Oh, hello.
And originally is from Cagliari in Sardinia, the south of the island. We were there for the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships in September, October, back end of last year, hosted by Ichnos Flying Disc. Ichnos is the kind of the Sardinian name of Sardinia, which I found out there. And yeah, one of the founders of that club, and has played for kind of various teams in the Hardfisch Hamburg umbrella, and has also played for the Italy Open Masters side as well. Got bronze at the European Master Championships in Madrid in 2019, and was one of the top scorers in the European Beach Ultimate Championships earlier that year.
Impressive. Kolodejczyk receives now for Uprising. Seems like the Polish have a lefty of their own. Prosser. Back to Kolodjejczyk. Back to Prosser. And he wastes no time to put it deep for the beast. Can he get there? No, the disc a bit too low and a bit too straight.
Yeah, you could see him just kind of cautioning, just cool it a little bit there. Was a decent option, but he really ripped that deep and just could have done with, leaving a little mustard on the side with that one.
It is a difficult throw. It was a tight tunnel lane to for Kołek that usually is just unbeatable downfield, really.
Is that the first turn we've seen all game?
It could be, Benji. It could be.
Feels like it might well be. Such is the quality of this game, and wouldn't you know it, he gives it straight back. Although he's going to go off injured here. It's Benjamin Schwanke. Maybe just took a heavy landing as he tried to scoop that in.
So Mörke will take his place as Uprising will have a short field to work with.
I mean, you can't get a shorter field than this. The disc's in the end zone and they'll bring it in from the end zone line.
Rechts auf, meaning that the German team decides to chooses to force one side, in particular the backhand.
Very good.
And hopefully Uprising have a few set plays for their end zone offense.
Well, if they do, I'd probably scratch that one out of the playbook because Verubel just put that high release forehand, a bit of a prayer perhaps, and
even Milanovic couldn't reach that.
Yeah, Hardfisch promptly denied it and taken the timeout.
Good call, call for Hardfisch with a good chance for the first break of the game. And as the teams huddle up, we will take a short break ourselves.
Side Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! DV!
So after a short announcement about the London invite that Benji likes to invite you to every time this commercial goes on, we are back on the field.
I mean, I'm gonna be there, and you can get tickets to be there yourself in the link in the description to the video. And if you can't make it, well, you can watch the whole thing on ULTI.TV.
We've had a pretty even start to this Open Masters game between the Polish Uprising and the Hamburg's Hardfisch. Hardfisch have already managed to break or force a turnover out of the Polish offense, but then they lost the disc once more, and this time they're going to unfortunately do it again. So,
but a warm round of applause from everyone on the sideline for the efforts of both players. It was Milanovic for the Poles and Tobias Mareka, I think, for the Germans.
I think they could go for the simultaneous laying out discipline. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And even the get-up.
Even the get-up! Look at that! They're so synchro. Get them on the same team. There's a crime to be playing against one another with that synchronicity and synergy.
And there was something about the black and white which just reminded me of the yin-yang.
Oh, my word. It's like a portrait, isn't it?
It is. Kolodjejczyk walks the disc to the sideline, gets it immediately. Oh, now needs to lay out for the save, but it seems like he's hurt himself in the process. Maybe we'll see that on the replay. I think he hit his hand a bit too hard, landing on, on them arms first.
He's going to come off and he's going to be replaced by Mikołaj Tomczuk.
Tomczuk is going to adjust his cleats first. Get his head in the game. Look at that good sideline. Staying out of our camera angle. Grzywalski.
Yeah, no Finnies here. Love to see people respecting the 3-meter line. God, that's a low rip from Milanovic, but it worked.
The Beast. Hoping for an upline cut. He gets it. And that's just way too easy. Number 13, Wiśniewski with the score.
Still no breaks in this game. That point taking a little bit longer than the previous ones, but nothing between these two teams as of yet. God, it's tight and God, it's tense, and you love to see it.
So I hope that all of you fans at home are happy that we've decided to stream this game.
I mean, I'm sure there will be a contingent, particularly from the Czech Republic, who will be a little bit disappointed that we're not streaming them, but
we will hope that silence will work their way up to the placement game so that we will eventually be forced to stream them.
I think they are guaranteed to be in the final at this point, by the way, which is also another reason why it doesn't matter so much if we don't stream them.
Let's see another replay of Kołek collecting the laser from Milanovic. And Tomczuk for the score to Wiśniewski.
I'll tell you what, Milanovic is really not afraid to laser those flat little low release flicks.
Uprising again, coming out in their zone. Spectre, Meistering, Dreyer, solid Hardfisch handling line. Got catch by Höflin. Back to Meistering, and Meistering unleashing his lefty power in that flick. Wow, wow. That was Meloni again, getting into a really good position to get that, but it just tips off the fingers.
Yeah, it's losing that height matchup there to Skorupski. He went up high, but he could only tip it and palm it round the corner, and on the layout, couldn't scoop it up, and that's the first O-line turnover, I think, for Hardfisch.
And this time it's Uprising who will take the time out to collect themselves and use the time to really work out a way to break this tough Hardfisch offense. Say hi to the Czech Masters watching in the stands as we will take a little breather.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Nova Scotia Electric, become a member.
Welcome back after the second timeout of this men's Masters game between Polish Uprising and Hardfisch Germany. I do strongly suggest that all Polish fans, including the ones on the sideline with the babies, cheer really hard during this game, because we have managed to find out that both of the Polish teams in the mixed division have been knocked out, unfortunately. In props to RJP, they only lost on Universe to Heidi's, who will be facing off BUCC Ultimate in the semi-final later today. On the other hand, we will be streaming the other semi-final, right, Benji?
We will indeed. We'll be streaming Reading Ultimate against B-Fire, who we, of course, streamed in the last game start yesterday.
So Uprising with a great chance to break here. They do get the first pass off. Couple of difficult choices, but now Kucharczyk on the sideline looking for the reset. Gets it from Serotsky.
Serotsky really climbed the ladder for that one, and maybe a bit of a slightly exaggerated flop backwards there.
We don't want to make it look like soccer, guys.
Football.
Or that.
Football. Oh, to be fair, he's got a bit of a point.
All right. We might have to take that back. Anyway, the disc stays in Serotsky's hands. As Uprising continue to strive for the potential first break of the game. Not too many options. Oh! And a too low release and a too low of a throw. And Meistering wastes no time and puts up a huge flick. The defender's unable to read it. And this will be a quick score for Hardfisch.
Yeah, Herflin, he just got there so much earlier, put himself in the perfect position, and then just about snuck that one through to his teammate in the end zone for the score. I think that's Tim Fergman. So, 5-4. Both sides having break opportunities on the last point. No one's yet able to find their way through. Jan Herflin has played for kind of various teams from the south of Germany: Hardfisch, Gummibärchen, Stormflut, Rubik's Cube, and has played Woodmill with Rubik's Cube, and also G-Spot with Stormflut, Gentle Supreme Party Oh Yeah tournament. And I must admit, I have played against him there, and Stormflut were a very good, fun team. I thoroughly enjoyed the game we had against them.
So Hardfisch going up 5-4 as they prepare for the next D point. Kolodziejczyk had a little bit of a painful layout in one of the last points. Glad to see him back on the field. And a catch made simultaneously by Kolodziejczyk and Foiwerk for Hardfisch. And there's going to be a discussion, but maybe we will help out with the replay. Looked very simultaneous to me, but
I don't have an opinion. I'm just going to go ever more pointedly.
Probably a good decision to send the disc back then.
Yeah, fine by me, to be honest.
So Grzywalski. We hear the German sideline encouraging their teammates to really stay in between the thrower and the disc.
Yeah, Josef Schnittger is being very loud, and thankfully for me, he's being loud in English so I can hear exactly what he's saying.
Wrubel centers the disc. Królikowski to Grzywalski. Kolodziejczyk. Milanovic. Kolodziejczyk in front of the end zone. Had no mark on him. Milanovic waiting for the nice upline cut, or else some other bits to open. He puts it over the top, and he doesn't do a bad job because his teammate is waiting exactly for that throw.
Yeah, Królikowski was ready when he saw those defenders and Kadis kind of scramble towards the front corner of that end zone. He knew what he was doing. He's like, no, I'm just going to back away here and trust that Milanovic is going to be able to just see through this traffic, and he did so brilliantly, curled over the top of that zone there into the back of the end zone for 5 apiece.
Królikowski said we should look out for his powerful throws, but how about we look out for his powerful scores? His ultimate sporting hero is Oscar Pottinger.
Oscar Pottinger, legendary Canadian with those furious...
Pottinger, never mind.
Yeah, that's all right. No, everyone gets one. Yeah, I just remember he was weird because he had this kind of... like
Powerful forehand, is it?
well, he did, but he had like happy feet on the mark. Like he would kind of bounce on the spot when he had the disc in his hand. But yeah, he could absolutely rip it. Seeing some RJP players on the sideline there. Or I can't speak the Polish alphabet, but I'm sure you can.
RJP.
RJP.
RJP? Yep.
Da.
Da.
I still don't know what yes is in Polish either.
Tak.
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 Tak. Another pull goes up, this time Hardfisch on the offensive end. Meistering poaches in the open lane from the poles. And they prevent the undercut. Dreier. Back to Meistering.
I mean, you can see what the plan is here. Whoever's on that reset handler, just sag off and absolutely gum up that lane.
It's proving pretty efficient. You just can't let that break slide. Now Hardfisch getting a bit more movement downfield. And here is the throw. It will reach the end zone.
That's a thing of beauty from Herflin. Just sat that out there, didn't he? Made it look so easy. And that is a buttery biscuit backhand, ladies and gentlemen.
Good stuff from Hardfisch. Nice clean offense. Not a bad look from Uprising, switching from their zone look to a little bit of poaching of the open lane. But nonetheless, Hardfisch go 6-5 up.
Yeah, it's interesting that. Hang on, I had a thought and I've lost it. Yeah, it feels like because the offenses have been so clean that you really need to stack the D lines in order to get the turns. But often your best defenders are not necessarily your best offensive players. So if you can finally extract that turnover, you don't necessarily have the offensive weapons you'd want to be able to punch it in.
100% agree. Again, we saw Tim Grunewald, the non-playing coach for the Hardfisch team, give some last-minute instructions, and a deep pull will allow the Hardfisch defense to get there early. Prosser finds Milanovic.
Stoppage. Travel.
It seems like Kolodejczyk will have a little discussion with, is it Fugman?
I think it's Valkenberg.
Falkenberg giving us, okay, a travel call, so the disc will go back, which is a bit unfortunate because the Poles were slicing through the defense pretty well.
Mickey Falkenberg is on the mark. He only started playing Ultimate way back when he was a university student because his roommate got him to play, and his roommate is also playing for Hardfisch. It's number 34, Torben Visa.
Prosser finds an excellent break side throw to Milanovic, who not immediately, but does return the disc to him. Kolodejczyk goes for the deep shot, and it is on the money. What a grab by the beast, Maciej Kołek.
Sixes. I tell you what, this game could go the entire way without a break at this rate.
It could. And CrossFit apparently helps.
I mean,
there are better ways. If we have any junior players watching, or even, you know, some experienced players who have trying to get into CrossFit in order to get better at Ultimate, there are better ways. Not to give unsponsored
I mean, I'll tell you what
yeah.
I think is a really good way to get better at Ultimate.
Play Ultimate, Benji.
I mean, play lots of Ultimate is one, but also kind of watch and study as much Ultimate as you can, particularly with a free library archive of content up available on ULTI.TV's YouTube.
I can't stress this enough, Benji. You are so right. And I will let you in on one thing. I'm actually not that good of an Ultimate player. But I just know a lot about the game from watching all the games.
I mean, I have seen you play, so I do know that that's not true.
Thank you very much.
You were fishing for that, but you reeled me in hook, line and sinker, to be fair, so all credit.
Anyway, another different look from Uprising, and I'm really liking the change, the different looks, the changes in the defense. I think this time is a bit of a straight up mark, maybe, with really trying to take away the dump. But of course, Meistering is not bothered, the experienced handler that he is. And Hardfisch swing it from side to side. Now they get a gainer from Meloni. Dreyer through the middle. Now a quick movement.
Two players came to cover that deep cut, and it really opened up Fergman in the middle. I thought he was going to get the disc back there as well, but they looked him off.
Neuhäuser doesn't get the disc. It's Meistering. But now they ping it off each other, and look at that lefty backhand into the middle, finding the open player in the Pochi Uprising D.
Look, I've said it before, being lefty is cheating. It just isn't fair. Everyone should have to play right-handed, even if you're left-handed. I'm sorry, it's just the rules. No, like we spoke before, how it's really handy if you've got handlers of different handedness in the backfield, because it really does change your angles of attack. And that time we see it being really well exploited actually by Mountain Meistering, who is, tell you what, having some game in the backfield for Hardfisch.
But honestly, we can't really make any excuses in this game, as we know that Kolejicic is a lefty himself. So it's one experienced lefty handler apiece. So there will be no excuses in that area for either of the teams.
Meistering's tasted the medals table at international events before. Won a bronze medal with Germany mixed at under 23s back in 2010, and a silver medal at EBUC 2019 with Germany as well. Although on that occasion they didn't quite have enough to overcome Russia in the final. And hoping maybe this tournament he can finally get on the top step. By the way, someone get out of the gym. What a pull.
Uprising in an interesting split stack or ISO setup. Hardfisch trying to make sense of...
Is it like an L stack? It's like, I don't know, they've got a plan. I think they've got 3 players off to the side, and then they're just trying to isolate.
Brosser finally gets the disc.
Yeah, Milanovic and Grzywalski in the centre.
Grzywalski did get open, but it was a bit too late. Brosser was already playing with the handlers. This is Vrubel now with the disc. Powerful pump fakes. Wow, good defensive effort, but that one stopped the beast.
Spectre's crossed over to the D-line now.
Again, Vrubel with the disc. Gets it in the middle to Milanovic. Lots of pressure for Hardfisch. And I had no perspective whatsoever on this one, as there's players right in front of me.
Yeah, B-Fire, who are coming up on the live stream next. Just standing in your field of view. It's going to be uncontested, so it will stay with the polls here.
I will not blame them. It was a cool passage to play to see from.
Oh my word! That's filthy. That's utterly disgusting from Krolikowski. Look at that, the little inside-out flat hammer. I mean, come on.
They don't teach you that anywhere. Krolikowski, wow. I couldn't see the players downfield. I just thought he was just throwing it randomly to the ground.
I must admit, when he released it, I was like, what on earth is going on? But evidently, he is a visionary that I could not see, because that is just disgusting in the best possible way. Like, you know, like a big fat burger with everything in it, and it's like slopping out of the side. It's that sort of throw. I mean, I'm very glad we're going to be able to look at this on the replay. Because
we're going to get to see it again.
Looks downfield, he sees there's maybe a little bit of space, and it's like zing, and it's that powerful, it's that flat, that little inside-out shape that brings it back into.
I'm not even sure he was intending to throw that, but eventually it was the perfect throw as it curved back to the receiver.
It's a real chef's kiss of a throw, and I tell you what a way to bring in Galaxy Point.
Woohoo!
I mean, this game has been of the highest possible quality, really, hasn't it?
It has.
We had the weird
It's
period.
turned me into a woo girl.
We had this weird period in the middle where both sides had a couple of turnovers, but before that and after that, it's been so clean. I'll tell you what, actually, you know how we said how Krolikovsky's his idol was Oscar Pottinger? Well, he's got the calf sleeves and he's wearing number 25 and he's got Furious George shorts.
Wow.
So I think he's, I think he's really tried to model his game after him, and I think even his hero would be proud of that throw.
100%. He's really helping us.
Makes himself easy to spot.
Yeah, and point out the references. So, a timeout for both teams as they enter the Galaxy Point and really make use of them timeouts. We will jump into a quick break before the last pull of the first half.
Uprising Electric, become a member.
Look, I don't know what Milan's doing up there, but it does look like that he's tying his belt or adjusting his flyers as he goes past the car.
Here we go, Galaxy Point of the Open Masters game, starting off with a huge, deep pull. The pole's clearly looking for a Callahan there. A great setup, so many players underneath, and it is Saratsky who catches it.
Wow, just airmailed that throw, left it up there. And who's there to answer the delivery but Sorotsky? This one might be down, it might be up. I think...
Oh my god, this was so difficult. I didn't even have a chance to say that the Polish really need to cool down at this moment. You get so much adrenaline for a grab and defense like that. Wow, that is...
I tell you what, it might be that one edge is up and one edge is down, and depending on what angle you look it from. Yeah, anyway, they've decided to call it up.
Okay, great spirit and pretty quick solution for such an intense point of the game. The Poles stick with the disc, and there is one more timeout for Uprising in the store in this half, and Milanovic wisely calls it.
Yeah, crossing over to the D-line to see if he can help power their D-line offense if they can get the turn. And boy, could they get the turn. Meistering, it's the right look, but he just doesn't get this far enough out into space. And Timon Sorotsky ascends Jacob's ladder and posterizes from the heavens. What a grab from Sorotsky. And there's the Czech wave going on behind us. Kind of feels like it needs a slightly bigger grandstand.
And some Polish fans, even with a nice banner, you understand why Uprising would be popular. Sorotsky himself, he makes tournaments, prepares tournaments for Ultimate. He leads a team. He's a coach for another one. And he have media interview? Makes interviews, maybe? Anyway, his family is watching at home. And his Instagram is Frisbee, double S, double E.
You know what? I anything with Frisbee and beer, I can get on board with.
So Uprising, last time they took the tactical timeout, it turned into a turnout, as Benji likes to call it.
Because it's a thing, and it's because it's what it should be called.
So I'm myself I'm not a big fan of taking timeouts right in front of the end zone. I prefer to stress out the opponent by just knowing that we just will get it into the end zone. But given the first throw after the turnover from Uprising, I think it wasn't the worst idea in the world from Milanovic. So set play or not, doesn't really matter. We will see if Uprising can steal this half with a break on the Galaxy Point. Disc is checked in. Milanovic looking for the break side and goes for the cheekiest scooper in the world, which will be brought down by Adam Grzegorowski. And that is the half, Benji.
Did he lay out? Did he need to lay out of that? Maybe he did not, but was it worth it? Oh boy, it was worth it. And what a time to get the game's first break with Skorotsky, with a picture-perfect sky to get the turn, just about keeping it alive after, well, there's the slightly conscientious up-down. And then the cheekiest, the most audacious of scoobers from Milanovic into the laying out. Adam Grzegorowski, what a way to bring in half time. I tell you what, his other half, Natalie, at home, and his son, and his future baby on the way as well. Got to be proud with that one. Apparently, Grzegorowski doesn't like the risky game. Well, I think he quite liked it then.
Especially if it makes you look good on the stream. Thank you for staying and watching this evening Masters Open game. We will go into the halftime break right now, leave you with some highlights, and we will be back for the exciting second half. I think we're in for a treat. Stay tuned.
Three, two, one. Welcome to the machine.
Hi, this is Vest. Me and my camera have been covering Ultimate Frisbee since 2012, and now I've been working with ULTI.TV, streaming Ultimate Frisbee for you. And if you become a patron member, we can offer you more contents, especially those games that they are not live stream and they're happening at the end of the game. Half of it I can move and go in there and stream live. So become a member, go on ULTI.TV.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back, and to all of you who have decided to watch this pool game of Masters Men instead of the Tom's Tourney, what is it, Benji? Semi-final?
It's only a quarter-final. Who even cares? Like, honestly, I guarantee you this game is better quality than that game. I 100% guarantee it.
Who cares about Clapham and Cusp when you can have Uprising against Hardfisch, who took the first half up to the Galaxy point, and Uprising with a surprising break with a humongous D.
The first break of the game, the only break of the game.
And that has won them the advantage of getting 1 point up and also starting on offense. But a layout D might stop their progress right at the start. There's no call. A turnover signaled immediately.
Wouldn't it be typical of this game is as soon as there's a break, they immediately get one back, and that time just maybe gets there slightly first. Going in towards the end zone, and Hardfisch can't stick it.
So another chance for Uprising. And they tried to chuck it deep, but long arms prevent that show-off by Vrubel.
Yeah, Björn Dreyer making full use of those, of that big wingspan. That's what I was looking for. And bang, up line, easy as that. Hardfisch break back.
Second try works out for Hardfisch, and just like Benji predicted, a break is followed by another break.
The one advantage for Uprising is because they got that break just before half-time. You know, they are trading up at this point. If there were no more breaks, Uprising would take it.
That's right. And what would that mean for the Masters category?
Well, it's funny you should say this. If Uprising win this game, Hardfisch versus Silence tomorrow morning becomes oh so important, because all of a sudden that might become winner makes the final, or they could both make the final based on three-way tie stuff. It's very weird. If Hardfisch complete the comeback here and win this game, then it would be them and Silence, undefeated, playing tomorrow morning. The only possible teams who could make the final, and so there are rumours that they might not even end up playing that pool game, because why play each other twice on the same day when neither side's going to be giving it their all, and you know, straight into the final, a one-game shootout.
So while you're getting all this insider info from Benji, another poll has gone up, and the Polish are on offense. Prosser thinks about the deep shot, but defenders covering it well, so he takes the around to Kolodejczyk. Vrubel. Not a hand block this time.
No, much for the Uprising energy.
This time, Grzyvalski with the disc. Looks for Vrubel. Great throw for the beast Kołek. Milanovic. Guns ready. Kołek. And a pick call downfield.
I was going to say Grzybica is worryingly in Finny territory here. Just take a step back for us.
The disc gets tapped back in. Prosser. With a beautiful around forehand. Oh my God. What a wonderful throw. Hitting exactly the back corner of the end zone for Vrubel.
What a solid foundation. You could build a house on that one. Brilliant throw. Uprising retake their lead at 9-8. Still so close. Such high quality this game. Oh, this would not look out of place at EUCF, let alone EMUCC.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
We haven't had too many problems, actually none, in this tournament so far. And here's again the shot from Prosser to Vrubel for a safe in the end zone. Ooh, Hardfisch decide not to catch the pole, and that is because it lands out of bounds. And as I've been pronouncing Prosser's name rather Germanly, he is actually from the US, it seems like, so Prosser. In the meantime, Hardfisch have crossed the halfway line, and Meisterling and Dreyer, again, strong handling for Hardfisch, and an easy score with an easy forehand pass to the front cone. 2.
That
Fugman.
looks like Fugman, yeah. They are, I mean, at so many points this game, these sides have made offense look easy, and I don't think it's because the defense is bad, because as we've seen, the defense can be a lights-out electric, but they're just moving the disc quickly. They're really stretching their opponents horizontally to utilize the full width of the field, and it's been a really devastating combo. You're doing more digging on our friend Prosser.
I am, because I am. Hometown says Ludwigsburg, Germany.
Yeah.
Current town says Krakow, Poland. And then which club teams and which school university teams have you played for? North Carolina State University. Way to confuse the commentator, Chris. Thank you.
NC State, I think were. I'm trying to remember which way they went. They were what? It's either they were Wolfpack and are now Alpha, or they were Alpha and they're now Wolfpack. Can't remember which. It's been I've a little out of the loop of the Courage game as a result of the pandemic.
Anyway, greetings to Ola, Chris's fiance, and mom and dad, who are hopefully cheering him on at home in Krakow. Uprising in the meantime, struggling to get the discs, but Grzywalski gets the disc eventually and puts up a floaty huck. But who else is underneath but Kołek, the beast? And they're now just shy of the end zone with Wróbel. Kucharczyk.
It's a very enticed ooze from the crowd, and when he brought down that one, and you understand why.
Milanovic centers the disc, gets it straight back, and that will be called in.
Yeah, nice little fancy footwork there from Wróbel to hop into the front of the end zone. Uprising back in front once more, 10-9, and God, it's still so gosh darn tight. It's so tight. This is a nice little appetizer to the mixed semi-final we've got coming up later.
I think Uprising are having a really, really good game. I think everything has kind of gone their way. It might have been the break at the end of the first half, where they got a bit of a serotonin boost from that defense and the eventual score. Whereas Hardfisch, I think this might be the first time for them where they're facing off tough competition and really have to focus in every single point.
I think that really it's kind of justification, because that their last point on the stream against Silence early in the weekend, they did not play well, and I think they had flashes, but they were so inconsistent, so many silly mistakes, and they came out here desperate to put the ship right, and they have, they've certainly done that.
They have done so all the way, as Philipp Neuhäuser receives the pole for Hardfisch. We hear a bit of counting from the sideline. It seems like Poaches will eventually transfer into match D for Uprising.
Yeah, they're playing it's quite circumspect from the handlers for Hardfisch at the moment. They're not moving it quickly. They're really taking their time to deliberate and pick the right option.
Dreyer receives the disc on the far sideline. Returns it to the middle. Finally, they get through the Poaches in the lane. Fugman with the disc. Back to Dreyer. Spectre to Meistering.
This feels a little bit like when we saw Uprising play zone in the first half, or when they played with those sagging handler marks. They are just happy to work it around.
Meistering gets off the break to Dreyer. Now the field is finally opening up. Meloni with Meistering. Watch out for that lefty hammer.
Or the lefty blade.
Again, a beautiful throw. Super impressive.
And Herflin, it feels like didn't do an awful lot that point. Well, he was on hand to catch the goal, and that's something quite important in the end.
So I think we're back to where we were. It's 10-all, but Hardfisch are pulling on the shortest end of the string.
Seeing here that mark is a little bit. I mean, to be honest, it's way too loose, and it means that's not gonna bother a thrower the caliber of Malte Meistering, to be honest.
So another lesson to be learned from this game and from a couple of other games that we've had on the stream. Really think about what it is, what it should look like to mark a lefty thrower. It will give you a huge advantage when you prepare yourself in advance, and it will save your team a lot of hustle.
See, my strategy for marking lefty throwers is to switch.
Not a bad call, maybe. So another opportunity for Hardfisch to show off some good defense on this motivated Uprising team. Milanovic on the sideline. Looks for the reset. Committed mark there, but Milanovic is completely free now. No one's listening for the switch.
I mean, Schnitger took a big old chomp out of that one on the mark.
Brosser fakes the hammer. Goes to Vrubel. Over to Milanovic. Milanovic has his eyes on the end zone, but holds his horses. Vrubel. Milanovic doesn't know where the right spot is, and Vrubel understands the confusion and decides to go for the timeout.
Yeah, just going to be a little bit of a discussion about what the stall count is going to be. But, again, Uprising looking a little bit flustered maybe by the strength of the Hardfisch defense at this point.
It definitely makes sense. It is still a lot of pressure, and I personally find it easier for myself to come from below, where you know that the pressure is mostly on the O-line to keep scoring, whereas coming from behind, you just know you need to give it all on defense and then just be really cheeky with trying to overcome or overpass the opponent. And as the team gather in their huddles, we will take a little breather so that we can improve the quality of our speech.
Take that time to step up as a huge run goes deep. Becky has it in her grasp and it's a goal! My goodness, Elise Becker, you legend!
The break side, Murphy, and then floats that one out. Huge bid, gets the touch. What a grab! GV!
The disc gets tapped back in right after a timeout. Uprising taking it to calm down their offense and get it moving a bit more. Vrubel. Not afraid to lose some meters to Milanovic. They found Golodejczyk on the sideline. The lefty handler for this Polish team. Grzywalski. He will take the deep shot. Oh my God, I don't think the defender had a hand on it, but it's enough to disrupt Prosser.
The old intimidation D sometimes. You don't need to get a hand on it, you just need to do enough to stop the offense doing it.
So another turnout, meaning a turnover almost right after a timeout for the Polish. And Hardfisch with the opportunity they've been wanting to get for a few points now. And they take a timeout themselves. That means one more break for us and a little bit of a breather for all of you watching at home. Make it quick. We'll be right back with the action.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
So 2 timeouts after each other. Uprising against Hardfisch. We're tied at 10. Uprising started on 0. Took a timeout to calm things down in the last third of the field. Lost the disc eventually. And now Hardfisch taking a timeout themselves.
Yeah, both sides have had a break. Uprisings came just before half-time, and Hardfisch is just after, so they're the same number of breaks, and Hardfisch started on 0. Uprising would be in the driver's seat unless, of course, Hardfisch can get their second break right here.
A good break side throw, and a deep shot goes up straight away, but Beast is underneath, and he's not going to waste any time. He gets up high early, denies that pass, releasing Uprising from that pressure.
Don't poke the bear. It doesn't end well.
Kołek being a steady force on the O and the D for the Uprising team. But they really need to collect and compose themselves once more, as this game is not over. We're only in the 66th minute of this game, and it is promising to be tight until the end. Kolodziejczyk picks up the disc. Has Milanovic in the break side. Now needs to go for the dump. Not that many options, gets it off. Cheeky scrubber to Milanovic. Doesn't have a continuation. Eventually finds Kołek. Kołek to Grzywowski. Kolodziejczyk powering through for the up line, but it is Kołek who gets the disc in the middle. Milanovic through the break side. Not too many options, but finally Wróbel on the far sideline. Offhand to Grzywowski. Kołek. Faking, he's got Kolodziejczyk on the reset. Kolodziejczyk to Wróbel. Milanovic. But no, it's going to be Kołek who gets the disc, but a pick is called.
We'll just see where the disc is going to come back in afterwards.
I think it was a pick called on Kołek. It will be checked back in, and what a freaking cool overhead throw. A hammer for Grzywowski will keep Uprising by 1 point up in this game.
Well, thanks to Kołek, they're still in the lead in this game. Brilliant D down the other end, and then with the stoppage, because of that pick, you know, while that's going on and while everyone's getting their position set, he's looking and thinking, I wonder if you're on the same page I am. And when Grzywowski goes deep, yep, he definitely is. So he just, I mean, the touch on that hammer is delicious, really. I
have a feeling that Kołek is much more comfortable downfield on the receiving end of things. But now with that hammer, I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, I think you'd probably rather have him handling than you would have him receiving. But it's not like it's a bit of a dilemma either way, to be honest. It's not easy one way or the other. You're still going to get punished in some sense.
So now the pressure is on Hardfisch. A bit of counting from the Polish sideline as they start with the zone. That's Neuhäuser with the disc. Passes it off to Meistering. Dreyer. Neuhäuser to Meistering. And here is that huge forehand shot. You gotta be aware of these options when you have the lefty on this side of the pitch. That was way too easy for Hardfisch. Great play.
What a throw though from Meistering. I mean, he's looking up, seeing his options, and that one is right down Broadway. Bisects the field in two, down the centre of the pitch, sees the cutter coming from the far side in Jan Hoffling, and puts that out there, and just holds its line superbly for him to make that cut to the back of the end zone for 11-0. I'm telling you, this is the best game in terms of quality of Ultimate. This is the best game I've covered in a long, long time, and not just because we've had a pandemic.
Just that throw from Meistering, look at that. your deep defender in that zone just needs to be aware of this kind of danger. That is something you need to tell yourself before the start of the point. Think about that lefty handler. Think about what the options are and where you need to position yourself, because he's going to have that banger open. So, yeah, we're tied at 11, and I'm just excited to see what this next point has in store for us. Milanovic. He has Grzywalski deep, but doesn't take it. Kolodejczyk to Wróbel. Everyone pretty far there from the handlers, but how about another opener with the hammer? A lefty reset into the middle. Kolodejczyk will get the up line. And this time, Królkowski back to Kolodejczyk. Kolodejczyk really wants the deep shot, but goes for Milanovic in the break side. Big mark on Milanovic. Back to Kolodejczyk. Uprising getting close and working pretty patiently. Wróbel. And here is the D. Huge layout. Solitsky.
They put the Hardfisch crossed Meistering over to the D line, maybe to help power their offense if they got the turn, but he generated it as well.
And he's going to go for the assist too. Wow. And that's a break slightly later in the game from Hardfisch. Only a third one that we've seen so far. But will it break Uprising?
The Hardfisch have got their noses. Do fish really have noses? Beaks isn't quite right. They've got their scales in front, certainly. I mean, it happens so quickly that the camera almost doesn't catch it. He just comes surging out of the traps.
Smelled the opportunity, took it, and the near sideline obviously didn't help either. Solitsky having to watch his feet. Here is Wiebe with the pass to the middle. And I've attributed the assist wrongly. This was actually Matthias Baumeister with the assist.
And I think it's Fergman, who was also himself making his way over to the D-line, who caught the score for the break to put them back in front. 12-11, going to be a timeout here, understandable. And we're going to use this timeout to tell you a little bit more about what we do at ULTI.TV.
Hey, my name is Milan. I'm on my way to Poland to film EMUCC with Double C. I'm doing operations, driving the kit to the locations. I'm doing financial stuff. I'm doing editing, producing live productions as well for you. And with your help, we can do a better job at delegating, maybe. Or we can do a better job at providing more fields or having more coverage. Having a person run around and film the most exciting games at each event next to the live stream. We can do that because of your help on Patreon. Get on board. Thank you.
If you want to help support the spread of free live Ultimate, you can become a patron of ULTI.TV, like Ulrika Lehmann has. For as little as a couple of currency a month, we are now at 199 patrons, and our 200th will win a signed disc signed by our crew here at EMUCC and our other crew over at Tom's Tourney as well. Not that they're as important as we are.
And just by doing that, you might as well get a bit more of our lovely voices, as well as some abs that were featured a couple of seconds ago of Stanisław Grzywalski, who is of the Polish Uprising team that unfortunately got broken by the German Hardfisch in the last point. That doesn't mean they have given up. I have stated before that coming from from the bottom up is actually sometimes a bit more comfortable with a bit of less pressure. And here is Milanovic, who has been on the field for the past couple of points. He goes to Królikowski. Królikowski waiting for options to develop. Well, waits until Prosser get really close. And now we have Vrubel in the middle.
Took advantage of the face mark there to just curl it around the defender.
Golwek puts the disc in the middle to Prosser. Wow, and a cheeky high release forehand for the score. An important hold for Uprising as they will try to claw their way back over Hardfisch.
What was I saying about maybe having the Beast rather as a receiving option? I think he's trying to make me regret that time. Just the almost nonchalance with that high release flick. He's enjoying himself out there as the Beast.
And look how quickly he released it after he caught the disc also. That was a split-second decision. And to execute that throw, you really have to have it practiced.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, it's Kolodejczyk.
That's it's there we are. That's why we got him on the replay, because he was receiving it. But for Kolodejczyk, I mean, that is just it's a lovely throw, isn't it? Don't really see that often, and I'm glad we did. His game's really had everything now. All it needs is a thumber, and that's it. You know, it really has had everything.
That's true. I'm gonna give a little shout out to my teammate Adelka Dobiashova, who has been sporting that wonderful high release forehand and has done it a couple of times in games, and it's just so fun to watch.
Your teammate on which team? You've played on so many over the years.
Excuse me. I am the only and one and only 3SB player.
I feel like there are other 3SB players nearby who might disagree with that.
Uprising, again, trying the zone defense to start with, counting passes until the transition. Dreyer, of course, with Meistering, who is responsible for that last break of Hardfisch, getting a high layout D for them. Dreyer tries to break, but there is a call on the field, a foul uncontested.
It's Dishko on the mark.
And Meistering working with Dreyer.
Just that little fake downfield. It gets that handle mark on the far side. Koharczyk just to drop slightly, and that opens that swing.
Dreyer back to Meistering. Zone doing a good job containing the downfield passes.
But there is a real calmness. You wouldn't really know it's 12 all in a tight game that will probably see the winner go to the final.
And Meloni finally getting a nice pop through. Lots of sideline action that is forcing me to watch the stuff. Oh my God. And here is the turn. Here is the turn for the Polish.
The rarest of mistakes from Malte Meistering. Just put that too far out in front for Spectre to reel in. We're seeing it here. He wants to curl that in, but just puts too much on it. He gets low and just, again, couldn't
I bet you it was that testosterone release on that last layout, but he might get it back now, Meistering. That was a wonderful, wonderful defense. Look at that body awareness. He, I think, really tried to go over the player while not falling at him as he went down from that layout.
Dominik Dobronovsky was the player who was defended there, called the foul, and there is a portion of the sideline who were not happy about that, and he's going to retract the call.
So it is a turnover, and Meistering rectifying his mistake by giving Hardfisch another chance on staying up in this game. He will receive the disc in the middle, goes around to Meloni. Back to Meistering. Dreyer now on the other sideline. I think Uprising should really try and eliminate Meistering.
I mean, on the one hand, I don't disagree with you. On the other hand, easier said than done.
Bundle of players underneath it, and it will be defended. Who was that flew through that group of people?
I think it was Sorotsky who got that D at the end of the first half that led to Uprising's first break, and I thought Meloni had it for a second, but maybe it just ricocheted out of his hand. A crowd of players underneath it. This isn't Meisterling's best point offensively.
Meistering is there. Oh my god, I can't believe that. Okay, obviously Meistering couldn't see it. There will be no call. Wow, what an effort. Second time for Dobranovsky. Not the worst option. Dobranovsky had lots of separation. He did.
Yeah, and Meistering's just kind of maybe, yeah, obviously he didn't get the D, but maybe he did sucker Dobranovsky into going for it a little earlier than he would have liked. And you know what? Hardfisch turned it over a couple of times at this point. They've been a little bit shaky, especially from Meistering of all people. So taking the time out here, I 100% agree.
Yeah, Dobranovsky would have done a better job just waiting for that one, but nonetheless, great spirit. And we will leave you with the timeout for a bit to have a breather from all this action and anticipation that is about to happen in this game.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Welcome back to the so far tightest game that we've had on the stream, Polish Uprising against Hamburg's Hardfisch. What a game so far, Benji.
Oh my god, it's so exciting. I forgot to turn my mic back on. I'm just so invested in this game. I mean, the highest quality of Ultimate, potentially a finals berth on the line for Hardfisch if they win this. You know, the sun's beginning to set. It's a gorgeous evening. We've got a slightly raucous crowd to our left-hand side, and slightly less raucous but still involved crowd to our right. I mean, what more could you want, Rachel? What more could you want?
Some more turnovers in this point, maybe. Hardfisch started on O. Uprising turned them over, but lost the disc on a deep shot. Actually, twice maybe even.
Yeah,
but
twice
now
indeed.
Hardfisch took the time out to compose themselves. Of course, Meistering with another uncharacteristic error. It's a second one already. I'm telling you, it's the testosterone from that layout D.
On the one, you could call that the third turnover at this point from Meistering, but I think Maloney will look back and think that maybe he should have caught that. It was low, but he'd back himself to make that catch.
A huge chance for Uprising to get the break back. They get it to the break side. Skorupski. An unfocused dump throw.
He was right there. I don't know why he threw it. Maybe the moment got the better of him, but Herflin was always going to smother that one.
Dreyer in the middle.
I think you can tell that the pressure's rising because we're getting these silly mistakes that we didn't have earlier in the game.
Dreyer now stops the quick movement of the Germans. Spectre in the middle.
Again, if you can get it around that face mark properly, it's a free reset, and this is going to be an injury.
A pulled hamstring, surely.
Yeah, as someone who has done exactly that, I would very much rather see Dishko make his way off the pitch. I hope he's okay. Get some ice on that sucker.
Great effort from Dishko. He was getting really close to Neuhäuser there. But that's okay. Uprising still with a few more players available. It's been this line that has turned Hardfisch over.
Yeah, they've done it 3 times, so at this point, do you back yourself to do it a 4th?
Neuhäuser checks the disc in.
I think it's Tomchuk who's come on as the replacement.
Spectre was open, now he's not, but this is a good Hail Mary. Grzegorowski was under there, but eventually Hardfisch come down with it. Meisterling. Spectre. Hardfisch getting dangerously close to the end zone. Fans are biting their nails on the couches. Fake of a hammer. And this time Meisterling does not disappoint. And again, one of them laser eyes from him. And as the receiver, number 22.
It's Herflin who got the bookends at that point.
And a little cramp.
Yeah,
on top of that.
There was a moment where I thought he might have thrown this a touch too far, and it was just going to be agonising. One of those ones where it's kind of on the tips of your fingers, and you close your hands, and the momentum takes it out of there. But he secures the catch really well, and then you can see just a little bit ginger afterwards. 5 minutes left. Say the scorekeeper's to our right-hand side.
And we will agree according to our time on the scoreboard.
I think it's still Maciej who's been our kind of scorekeeper on this field all day, doing a bang-up job, as all the volunteers do, the unsung heroes that make these tournaments work.
Shout out to him yet again. If you want to see some action from him, he will be joining Flo, hopefully for the upcoming EUCF. Back to the action on the field. Uprising now with all the pressure deep in their end zone. No, the disc will be out of bounds, so they will take it to the brick mark. Again, that split stack with Milanovic and Grzywalski isolated in the hot side.
Yeah, they've got Grzywalski right open on that far side. Milanovic is relatively close to this stack, but it's clear they're trying to get those two players isolation, and well, they've both taken off deep.
Kolodziejczyk now stuck on options, but finds Proser. Milanovic has an open Grzywalski. And Grzywalski finds
it's the beast.
The beast, Kolek. This time not out of bounds. I was really worried to celebrate there.
Especially in this low evening sun. It's so difficult to pick out that far sideline.
We've said it many times. It's such a difficult angle for us to see, and we've celebrated many, many catches and scores in there that happen to be called out of bounds eventually. So a clean offensive hold for Uprising. Good to see that. That means they can put that much more pressure on the Germans in these last few points of the game.
13-0, guaranteed to be a game to 15 now. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. This is where you come to these big tournaments. So you get these two powerhouse teams matching up each other. It's like a heavyweight boxing match, where you got these prize fighters going blow for blow and really slugging it out. And every time you feel like there might be that haymaker that's put them to the canvas, they've just answered the bell and come back up.
I'm just a bit worried I'm going to get stutter from all the anticipation.
It's all right. We can do this together.
We can do this
together. You've got this, Rach, I believe.
So as the evening sun sets, we will have one of the last pulls from Uprising. A huge pull, a wonderful floaty thing, landing in the back of the end zone. Not too much stress, surely, for the experienced handlers of Hardfisch. Meisterling on the sideline.
But you never know when the pressure might get the better of you.
Hardfisch still stuck in their own end zone. They get the up line. Now struggling on the resets. They get it off. It's collected.
That was a pressure situation where they could have buckled, but again, managed to work their way out of it.
Fugman finds Spectre. No reset and an upline cut won't be defended. Fugner fakes the hammer. Fugman, sorry.
Wearing some seagull socks, very stylish.
Meloni on the sideline. Finds the upline cut. It's Fugman again. I think they meant a signal for in rather than for a score. That would be a bit too early. Meloni.
Yeah, you can see now they want to get it off that sideline. They want to give themselves more room to work with.
Disc is centered in the middle. It's Meisterling again looking for that around forehand. And he gets it, and it's Fugman for the score.
14-13.
Hardfisch 1 point away from the hard cap, the point hard cap.
All up, Reed. Here's the play. If you're Uprising, all you need to do is just calmly work it down the field like there's nothing in it, get the quick turn on Universe and put it in for the win. Easy, right?
It is easier said than done in a sense that we do see a lot of players crossing over, and they have been on for a while, so it will become a question of stamina. Obviously, Hardfisch having a slightly deeper roster there. I think even on this point, we saw some newer players, not the regular O-line.
Yeah, this is the opportunity that Hardfisch have now. They can maybe rest players this point, knowing that if they can't get the break, well, they've got another chance at it. But for Uprising, it feels like we've been seeing the same players go out there every point. Milanovic is going both ways. It feels like Kolesic's going both ways as well.
Sometimes the continuous play helps, though. Some of these players
Gets you in the groove.
Exactly, it gets you in the groove or the flow, and you might just need to rise up a few more times to bring your team to victory. With fans gathering on the sideline, we have a potential game point on our hands as Uprising break it to Milanovic. Back to Kolodejczyk. They don't take the easy open side option. Kolodejczyk finds Królikowski, who lashes it deep, and there's two players underneath. Oh no, Krzyvalski with a layout, but just out of reach. I think they try to communicate with each other.
And they left themselves a bit too much to do. Like, I tell you what, again, it's that Pottinger-esque flick from Królikowski. He absolutely whipped this, and it's a howitzer of a throw. And you're right, there's that slight miscommunication that stutters their steps for a little bit.
Yeah,
and by
I think Krzyvalski kind of missed, wasn't sure which foot to jump off of.
Yeah, which hand to try and catch with as well, and yeah, comes up empty.
Hardfisch now in a really good position there, having the momentum.
What a time this would be to take the first and only 2-point lead of the game.
Schwanke centers the disc, and they rip it deep. Who's going to get there first? Can they run it down? Is it going to go out of bounds? We hear a lot of celebration, but Kolodejczyk looking a bit startled in a sense that he thought it was clearly out, maybe. Lots of players. Oh, my God. Is the sideline going to call it in?
Well, I must admit that I have no angle on it. They're calling it a goal. Goal stands. Hardfisch win.
15-13, the final score in this Open Masters game. What a game it has been.
What a game, Rachel. It feels in a way cruel that we were denied the universe point that I think everyone here craved. But honestly, I need another beer. You will not see a better game than that. Maybe this year. Genuinely, you might not see a better game than that this year. Honestly, as soon as I get home tonight, I might just go and rewatch that. And when I get home on Monday, I might go and rewatch it again. What a game.
I think, I really hope that you enjoyed it as thoroughly as we did here in the commentary booth, and the Czech masters on the sideline, and the Polish fans on the other side. Wonderful job out of both these teams. We've said it before what it means. Hardfisch coming out victorious from this game puts them towards the top of the pool together with Silence, the Czech Masters team. And that means that the last pool game or last round robin game would be between those two teams. As we said, rumors have it that there might not play out that last game and we'll go straight for the final. We are yet to see how that turns out. Nonetheless, there is one last game for today. Benji, who is it?
That is indeed. And we're going back to the Mixed Masters division for a semi-final where B-Fire of Torino, Italy will take on the UK's Reading Ultimate. And that happens in... God, it's only about 15 minutes away. Aren't we good to you? We're so good to you sometimes. So be sure to see the exciting last game of our Saturday streams coming very shortly here on ULTI.TV.
You will not get that anywhere else. You get to spend a whole day with us. Have a quick break. Gather some snacks, use the bathroom, and we will be back in a few minutes with more action from EMUCC. Stay tuned.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.